Hey, this is Adam from RealHomeRecording.com. In this video, I'll be showing you the K-Meter Stereo plugin from MZother. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This is a plugin that I've been using for a bit now, ever since it came out, ever since I heard about it, really. It's a free plugin, and basically what it does is, if you ever heard of Bobcat's K-System, named after him. Basically what it is, it tries to keep your mixes and your masters from becoming too loud, and it puts them at a much more dynamic level than just having your your 0 decibel full scale, which actually this plugin has that option if you want it normal. But the K20, K14, and K12 are what I'm aiming for. When I'm mixing, I have this on K20, and I'm making sure that, I'm between 0 and +4. And then when I'm mastering, K14 for clients who don't care about their mixes being, a little quieter than other ones. K12 for those who do. K12 is still okay, but it does compromise on the audio quality a little bit. Now, I do use my ears. That's an important thing. You can't rely on meters because these things do have faults. However, this keeps you in the ballpark by having this. And if you use the K system, this is the other half of that. Monitor levels being the other half. So this fulfills your meters and has a bunch of cool functions. I already showed you can do K20, K14, K12, and then full scale. You also have a peak hold option. And then this, let me just play a file for you. And obviously that's too loud. So here we can have
I was living it up, I was out on the town. I wasn't thinking about her cause she wasn't around. And I was living it up, I was out on the town. I wasn't thinking.
Now that's not what you normally do. I mean, this is already a mastered mix. And this is before I started using the K system, and it's hyper compressed. If you want to read up on hyper compression, go to turnmeup.org. There's tons of information about the loudness war and how it's detrimental to your mixes and masters. So I use the K system because I think it's a good way of just keeping your dynamics, keeping some punch to your tracks. And, my mixes and masters may not be as loud as the next guy's, but if you level match them, mine sound much more punchier, typically. Of course, that's debatable, and whether or not hypercompression takes away punches, blah, blah, blah. I also have another tool for that, where if somebody absolutely wants their mixes to be above K12, but I still think K12 is a good level to aim for masters, for absolutely loud masters, and don't go past this point.
I was living it up, I was out on the town. I wasn't thinking about her cause she wasn't around. Then temptation started.
So the other parts of this plugin expand so you can see more closely
I was living it up,
how much you're going over. We also have a mono down mix, which is cool if you don't have that in your DAW. And then we have a, basically, it just resets everything.
I was living it up, I was out on the town.
Yep. Reset your peaks, reset your meter, so that if you go over, you can see that. And then it also has a cool function, although I haven't really messed with it, so I'm not going to bother on this review. This validates your files to make sure you're not, going over. It'll tell you everything instead of having to play everything back in real time. It'll do it with this. I've actually used it one time, but I haven't used it in a while, so if I try to figure it out in this review, I'll probably just end up looking dumb. But it does work. It's just been a while. Complaints about this plugin. The lettering is a little bit hard to read. In another one of my plugin reviews, there was a plugin like this. I believe it was LoudMax, where black lettering was put against a gray background. It's just not good graphic design, and I wish these letters were white or red, something that's legible. One thing I wonder, because luckily I'm not colorblind, but I wonder if plugin makers take into account color blindness when making their plugins. So just one thing to think about if you're a software developer and you're doing GUI. Other than that, though, this is good stuff. I mean, you have your meters that are your typical LED meters, and they react well. And once you do click something, well, actually, this green against black is also a little bit hard on the eyes, but the yellow and black is good. It's a bumblebee. Red and black's not too bad. I mean, really, that's my only complaint is, when they're not highlighted in that first one. So that's about it. I don't really have anything else to say. This comes in VST. It may one day be ported to other plugin formats, but for now it's just VST. I think it's only Windows VST 32-bit, but it's open source, so any developer who wants to port it, the developer of this, who is mainly Martin Zuther, that's what MZuther stands for, and you can get this by going to the link in the description. This has been Adam from RealHomeRecording.com. See you in the next video.